So I think at like the beginning of these videos, you're supposed to do like a big skit or sketch or something to really commemorate what you're celebrating, which for me is 10K. Thank you guys very much. But there's a hoe roaming the streets right now, and her name is COVID-19. So I can't really do much of anything besides sit in this bed. And also, you guys know me. I'm a subtle guy. The extended cuts. So so I did two very special subtle things that you'll never catch me doing again before I shoot a video. The first thing is I didn't style my hair. And the second thing, which actually caused the first thing that I'll never do again before a video, is I showered. So for real, thank you so much for 10K and 11K, and I'm gonna answer some questions for you. First question from Joey Diedrich. What was going through your head when you were watching Jack's video and saw your content get featured? And Matthew C said, I hope he does this one. Well, Matt, I'm a man of the people, so. Jack posted a tweet asking for people to submit their stuff to get reviewed. That was like a week, maybe like 5 or 6 days before his video went up. And I responded to it with my escapism in video games link, which if you've seen is a little bit slower and much more personal than the video he ended up reviewing, which he clicked on that tweet and then went to my page. I don't know if he watched that video and was like, wow, this is hot garbage, or if he just clicked through and didn't see the link, but he went to my actual Twitter page and then favorited my pinned tweet, which was the tidbit from my video that I tweeted out that was the 100% concentrated power of will joke, and he ended up reviewing that tabletop game in his video. So when he favorited that, I was like, oh shit. And then like most of Jack's videos, I saw exactly when it was uploaded. I went to it, I saw my name in the description box with like the third link, and I was like, holy shit. And I was like so amped. I was like, one, this could be really big for me. Two, someone that I've looked up to for like years is about to talk about the things that I spend way too much time making. And then we're like 6-7 minutes into the video and he says, all right, next up is James Miller. And as soon as he says my name, my heart just plummets into my stomach. I'm like, oh my God, what if Jack Films hates me? It felt like I was going off the deep end of the deep end. It felt like I was going off the big drop on a roller coaster. And then the first edit or whatever, he goes like, oh, and I was like, oh my God, he likes it. And then he says the thing about like it having Jakey vibes and that always being a good thing, and he clicks his pen. And that was where like a wave of relief washed over me, because that was the thing I was really afraid of, because just the day before, or 2 days before, I was getting fucking annihilated on Reddit. I finally got a video to get traction on our videos, which is like a huge thing to happen. And it started garnering like almost 100 subs or something in a few hours. But then Reddit just completely turned on it. And there were like hundreds of threads that were like, you're a fat piece of shit, get liposuction, you're a fucking plagiarist, you don't make your own shit, you're a copycat, which is, you know, whatever. But when it's all happening, it's like hundreds of people are telling me my stuff is garbage, maybe I should just completely switch it up or just not make anything close to that ever again. And then the next day, it felt like that like life poetry that, you know, always seems like bullshit in movies. The next day, which is the day before my 3-year anniversary, Jack does this and then reassures me that, you know, I'm not too much of Jakey and I have my own style, and he's excited to see that develop further. And that is just like, having you guys is incredible. And the other nice things, he said I was funny in my timing, which is just like, those compliments to me, or I can't even comprehend me deserving them from someone like Jack. But him like easing my worries about all the Jakey stuff and like saying that he does believe that I can move away from it and stuff like that, that's when it really hit. And then I started crying. And then, and then all of you guys started coming, and I started crying more. We're coming and we're crying, baby. So yes, thank you so much, Jack. Thank you so much, you guys. If you keep coming, I'll keep crying. So Joe Dallas says, hello, Mr. Masucci. I have a few questions, starting with, why are you so dumb thick? Now, the answer to that one's easy. I have a mom who was lucky enough to stay home with me and my sisters my whole life, who cooked really good food, and usually cooked way too much of it. And I got a problem. Number 2, how did you get that mega dumpy? Now, if you guys don't know what he's talking about with that mega dumpy, that's what he's talking about. My mom may have given me the thickness, but working in a New Jersey pizzeria for 3 years absolutely gave me my dumpy. And I'm pretty sure you're all here just because of my dumpy, which I'm okay with. And that means that, you know, thanks to pizza, we have each other. So let's all raise a slice of that good old pepperoni. Unless that pepperoni be laying on a deep dish, because then you put it down. No one wants that. Eddie, if you ever see this, I don't know why you would. Fuck you. EP163, similar question. Do you feel like Jack was fair in how he rated you? Are you harder on yourself than he is, or do you think that you're better than he gave you credit for? That's a really good question. I think that with the esteem that comes with Jack's opinion and how long he's been on the site and how many waves of YouTubers he's been able to outlive, I don't think that's the right term. His opinion means an incredible amount to a lot of people, and definitely me. I don't know if I deserve an A+ in the eyes of someone as founded as an artist as Jack is. I don't think I do. Not to toot my own horn, but I think I was making half decent stuff for at least a little while now, and it just felt like there was a pool of people out there with similar interests to me, and that has always been, you can go back to the first video I ever posted, the main thing I talk about is community and like being a part of something bigger, and I felt there was always something there for me, and that's kind of what this has delivered to me. So I don't know if I completely deserve it or think I'm as good as the praise he gave was, but I don't think that I don't completely not deserve it. Slayer says, what is your opinion on all the people that say you're just a Nakey Jakey clone? Cloning doesn't exist yet, fucking idiot. My Brian hurts. That's a good name. Have you played Barnyard the video game? That's it. That's my only question. Thank you so much for that question, Brian. I don't know if that's your name. I have not played Barnyard the video game, although Barnyard was a slapping show. And I'm pretty sure there was a movie where like they die or something, or one of them gets executed or slaughtered. And, you know, that's a pretty good movie, so. Doplex, the legendary Doplex, says, how does it feel to be a god among men? Love you, bro. Congrats on the well-deserved recognition. Thank you very much, Doplex. Doplex is a wonderful boy and is honestly on, like, the tier of Nerd City with his aesthetics. So, I'm not gonna tell you to go sub to him because he has a little bit more subs than me, so fuck that. But thank you, Doplex. Olaf Khan with the buff baby Yoda meme be saying, were you always mildly obese? It isn't bullying if you said it. Okay, I like that. Thank you. I thought you were just commenting on my what has now gone past mild obesity. I'd say I was like normal sized until like 3rd or 4th grade. Then I got real fat. In like 4th grade, I was playing football with 8th graders because I was really fucking fat. James Taylorson asks, when are you next planning on praying to your god? Now this may seem like a weird question, you guys, but James is my dungeon master in D&D, and I'm a paladin and haven't prayed to my almighty deity except for like once in the first 8 weeks of our campaign. So I should, James, thank you, dude. I should thank you, Father, Son, Almighty. Thank you, Miss Nature Goddess, whose name I don't remember after so long of this campaign going on already. I'll pray to you during our next session in my Irish accent. Double with a 3 instead of an E says, hey James, I'm a sucker for video essay type content and your passion shines through. Can't wait to see where your channel goes. Thank you very much, Double. Glad to have you along with me. What would you say is your favorite game series of all time? Now, if you've went through the backlog or you've been with me for enough of time, you know that I find literally any fucking way to shoehorn Halo into a video. I shoehorned Halo into a Harry Potter fucking video. So, my favorite game, I don't know if I could tell you, but my favorite series is the Halo series. I can't choose between 2, 3, or Reach. They're all special to me for very different reasons. Ivan Gomez says, when did you start making YouTube videos? Also, I'm liking your content so far. Hope you become more popular, and I'm waiting to see more videos. And also, you're kinda hot. Will you make an OnlyFans and then one of these memes? Ivan, I think this is the only time I've ever been called attractive over the internet, so I am absolutely flattered, but my dumpy is for me and my pizza only, so. And then our boy Slayer from before says, not gonna lie, that would be pretty cool. What the fuck? Guys, my ass looks like a bear tried to fucking bite through it with all the stretch marks on it. I don't think you want to see that. Kademan Uren, which is a very cool name that I don't know if I pronounced right, says, do you have any grand ideas for the future? Ideas, I sound like my fucking grandma. A plan in the entertainment industry or new kinds of content. So as far as grand ideas go, my ultimate goal in the future is to be an actor, and my ultimate goal is to be an actor and amass so much money that I can open up my own game studio that makes games that aren't predatory garbage. The only thing I can really think of like other avenues that I would break out into, at least in the foreseeable future, is definitely streaming. So Bjorn Torb says, what are your 5 favorite YouTubers? Guy on a Tricycle says, apart from Nakey Jakey, what other YouTubers and personalities do you take inspiration from? And Bonnie says, when it comes to YouTube, what are your other idols if you have any? So I'm gonna kind of wrap these all up into one, and we'll do a top 5, and I like to break the rules when it comes to this stuff. So number 1, we're gonna wrap up Gus, Eddie, and Jakey into their one little number 1 category. They're all kind of like wholesome Midwest, make anything and it's good content boys. This is in no particular order either. I say number 2, we're gonna make a category, Max Mofo, anything for views, Filthy Frank, and iDubbbz, and just, you know, lump all those fucking edgelords in there. Those guys were like, and H3H3 will throw them in too. Those guys were like the beginning of YouTube for me, like 2015, 2016. They really got me into the scene. Number 3, we're going Doplex, Jay Aubrey, and Nerd City. They all have like incredible aesthetics and like really solid editing, and usually have some really interesting takes on commentary ideas that aren't too fucking oversaturated. Number 4, we're going Philip DeFranco, Jax Films, and Eric Internet Comment Etiquette. They're all kind of just like OGs that have persisted through multiple waves of YouTube and just still make great stuff on the daily. For some reason I was struggling for a number 5, but now it's completely obvious who I have not named, who was the first person I ever saw make videos on YouTube. My boy, Critical Moist Man Penguin Zero. That guy has persisted every single fucking bullshit tactic of getting big on YouTube and has just been himself for like a decade and has been hilarious. So Luke Milner, you're very close to Miller, I think you should probably change that. Says, what were you doing before/during making videos, and where do you expect to end up? I've always been one to work for tips. I really like humans. I like talking to people and meeting strangers and exchanging stuff about life and everything. Interaction and interpersonal connections are like the whole point of life. So I like serving. I'm a certified bartender and stuff like that. So I was doing that for a long time, and also delivering pizza at the pizzeria I worked at. And I think working for tips just gives you a lot of freedom, usually lets you work your own schedule more, and sets a higher ceiling for yourself, and you get to put your personality more on the line. I actually just quit my job at Ruby Tuesdays like 3 or 4 weeks ago because one, Ruby Tuesday sucks fucking dick, and my boss like threatened my job for not filling up someone's drink that complained, and it was just some regular who bitches about everything. So threatened my job, I'll quit on the spot, and they had me lined up for like 6 shifts in a row, and all the bartenders were going to a wedding that weekend, so I don't know what the fuck they did, but fuck you, Ruby Tuesdays. Moonface, another wonderful boy and a good creator you should check out, says, what's your favorite album? Now, I don't know if this technically equates to like what my favorite music is, but when you say favorite album, I'm thinking like something front to back, like every track on the album is solid that I can listen through the whole thing, and the albums that come to mind are Fall Out Boy's Folia Do. I think that's their best album, especially cover to cover. Linkin Park's Meteora, which I made a meme about in the level editor video. That's probably my favorite album of all time, honestly, but it's hard to narrow it down, so I'm gonna give you a couple more. Avenged Sevenfold's self-titled album is probably the album I've listened to most out of like anything in my life, because it's been around for a really long time and I was really into it when I was in middle school, and I've loved it ever since. Panic at the Disco's Death of a Bachelor. I know their first album's incredible and everyone says like they peaked on their first album, which I don't know about that. But Death of a Bachelor, cover to cover, not a bad song on there. I fucking love that album. And this may be a bullshit answer, but Billy Joel's Greatest Hits Volume 1 and 2. I think Billy Joel or Elton John are probably my favorite solo artists of all time. So I'll just throw Billy Joel's Greatest Hits on there because everything he's made is good. Suspicious Mr. Guy says, love your channel, love your vids. Just want to ask, thank you very much. Since you're obviously too good at this whole YouTube thing to be human, are you a lizard person, a robot, an elf, wizard, or something else? I'm actually a dwarf paladin. No, dragonborn paladin? A silver dragonborn paladin? So that's a D&D meme. Gonzalo Alpizar says, what editing software do you use? I use Premiere Pro with the very fucking infrequent addition of Adobe After Effects, if my small little tiny 8 brain can figure out how to do anything in there, but Premiere Pro. Cademan Uren again really holding down this video, says favorite Gus and Eddy bit. That's really fucking hard. Honestly, I know you're probably talking about one of the bits they do on the podcast, but honestly my favorite thing that they've done together is Gus and Eddy go to Canada, especially the part where like Gus doesn't have toilet paper, he uses all the toilet paper, and he actually starts crying when Eddy's making fun of him. That's probably one of my favorite things they've ever done. Joey Dietrich says, didn't ask me, but I'll answer anyways. Eddy's spider on the wiener bit. I did like that one. Insect12 says, what was your first game? And this actually is a lot different from the answer I gave for favorite video games, but the first game I ever remember playing was on the original Xbox. It was like the flagship game for that console. My dad bought it, and I just saw aliens and shit, so I was like, oh, this would be really cool. What was the name? Fucking Halo Combat Evolved. That actually was my first game. That I think I was barely like 4 years old and I was fucking clapping those wart cheeks. So low budget history, another boy you should definitely check out. Did you ever feel like giving up on your channel? What was one of the worst experiences you've had as a small YouTuber? Worst experiences, that shit on Reddit. Honestly, always posting to Reddit, I fucking hate it. I try not to do it too much. Did you ever feel like giving up? I've made close to over 250, I think close to 300 videos in 3 years. Most of them garbage, most of them privated. But there's just something, even when I was like, I don't fucking want to do this anymore, no one watches my shit, people are always like, oh, you should have more subs, but then I never get them. Like, even in those times, it was like, I would go a couple days and I couldn't fucking function without starting to work on something else. And I really don't know why. It kind of came out of nowhere, this whole YouTube thing for me. But I don't think I've ever thought about quitting. I've definitely been extremely discouraged, but there's just something that draws me back every time. ChiliYT on Twitter says, how long have you been making videos? I've been making videos since March 14th of 2017, so just over 3 years. Moonface says, if you could talk to any 3 people from any time period, living or dead, who would it be? First people that pop into my mind are Robin Williams and Ian McKellen. They are probably, as far as acting goes, obviously they're fucking unbelievable talents and people. But just as far as interesting and life stories go and what I could learn from them, they are incredible. Robin Williams is probably one of the most like influential people that's had an impact on me. So definitely those two, and then maybe we'll go with like Alexander the Great or like Caesar or some shit, just to see like, were they really that fucking cool and like dominated the whole world, or like is human history just some bullshit? I don't fucking know. Miguel Makes Movies, a very wholesome boy, says, another question, have you ever, I didn't get to your first question, have you ever read any manga or watched anime? If so, what is your favorite of each? So the only anime I've ever finished through is, not a big surprise, Attack on Titan. Well, I didn't even finish it through because I only watched the first season, but that was when the only thing was the first season. Kind of liked it. I've tried to get into anime a few times with like Black Butler and Death Note. Just didn't like them. I don't know what it was. I'm not that person who's like against it or thinks it's for weebs and it's bad and shit. It's a completely unique art style and take on like cartoons or whatever. Do I dislike anime? No. Could I ever get into it? No. And then comic books and manga and stuff like that has never ever been my forte for reading. I'm very much a just give me words, I don't want pictures type person. Andrew Miller, my son, and the inferior Miller here on YouTube, says you should check him out though. He's alright. He says, when is our YouTube boxing match happening to finally decide who is the supreme Miller? I, your canonically father, son, and brother, need to know. I don't think it can ever happen because I don't know if you're allowed to fight your own offspring. Also, I'm pretty sure I could beat you up with just like the power of my dumpy cheeks, so never. G-Rez says, what's your preferred gaming experience? A narrative-driven single-player, community-driven MMO, couch co-op, online multiplayer, etc. So as far as like hours put in, obviously it's going to be online multiplayer for me. As far as what I enjoy the most, it's a narrative-driven single-player game, like any RPG that I can sink like hundreds of hours into. But as far as like if all games went away, what could I still have? Couch multiplayer, co-op stuff, like a lot of the Nintendo games. Being able to play the old Halos with my buddies on LAN and stuff. If I had to keep any games, it would definitely be those because, you know, anything that unifies people is a good thing. Captain Patrick says, have you ever had the chance to go on the Gus and Eddy podcast? Would you go? That is, if there's any question that I could answer with the easiest yes in my entire life, it would be this one. And last question, Aaron says, will you be my husband? With one of these fucking memes. You know, no offense, Aaron, this isn't just you, this has been building up. Do I look like I make content for people go, make a OnlyFans and show me your fat dumpy ass? Aaron, I cannot be your husband for the sole fact of this abhorrent gesture. Don't ever touch your fingers, any of you. I will not be the touchy fingers man. That do be jokes though, Aaron. It's okay that you did this. Gave me a good meme to end on. Ivan, I shall not be making a OnlyFans for my big fat dumpy ass. And thank you everybody for sending in questions and stuff like that. It is a surreal feeling. I genuinely thought when I asked for those questions and stuff, one, the community post was just gonna fucking flop, but that no one would have any questions for me and that this would be very embarrassing when I had like 3 questions and I didn't make the video. But you have showered me with questions, so thank you very much. Now I have some questions for you. Would you watch if I started streaming? Not on YouTube, it would probably be on Twitch. Not would you donate or sub or anything like that. Fuck that. I just want to be able to have people in chat and hang out with, so I'm not streaming to nobody. So let me know if you would watch a stream. Second question, why the fuck aren't you following me on Twitter? JamesMiller_YT is my handle, easy enough. The YT stands for your titties. It stands for YouTube. I tweet funny stuff like the beginnings of My Chemical Romance music videos, and then say stuff about busting on my boys at the end of it. And that concludes my Q&A for you. So again, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being here. Another video essay coming rather soon. I have nothing else to do but edit and edit and edit, so that is all I'm going to be doing. And you guys have made a remarkable impact on my life and made 2020 pretty fucking cool so far, even though it sucks dick for everyone else. So thank you very much. Farewell.